Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body Culinary, and I wanted to pop in today just to answer a question of how long will it take for my hair to lock? Um, this may be of more concern, especially if you have very fine hair. I'm someone with very fine hair. To some people, it may not look like it. I literally just washed my hair. So it is still dripping wet, and it does appear to have a little length now, but it will shrink. I do experience a lot of shrinkage. So, how long will it take for my hair to lock? Now, I don't have a lot of locks, maybe they're 30. So I've decided a little experiment. So all of my hair is, my locks are flat, right? And they feel a little puffier because there's no twisting, there's no oil. And actually, when it's wet, you can see the hair, the water sits right on top of the hair. So I don't have any dye in my hair, no oil, no nothing. I have been washing it a lot, though in the last 2 weeks, all of a sudden I find I wash my hair like twice. And so when I sit back and reflect, I know that's because of stress. And to let water cascade down on my scalp and bathing and cleansing is it's very therapeutic to me. So I found myself, I listen to my internal dialogue a lot, and I found myself saying, I feel like washing my hair. Not that my hair um, was dirty at all, not itchy, anything. I don't have any issues with dandruff, though I felt the need to just douse myself and cleanse myself and soothe myself with water. And also, I like the scent of fresh, clean hair. Usually, my hair doesn't really smell like anything. So, it is still wet. Um, the process also for me drying my hair, it doesn't have any oil, so it dries actually very quickly. So rather than wringing it out, I do not wring my hair. And if you have very fine hair, this may be something to be mindful of. Now that my hair is matured and I can see what it looks like when it's matured, I can tell you wringing it, I think is no bueno because all of them are flat. So you may not be able to see it from a glance, but now that they're kind of matured, um, we can see what they look like and how they will perform. So things that were 4 locks now, that's why I say my hair is very fine. It grows wider in contrast to flat. So I can see that all of them are flat, all 30 of them. I think this was the one where I was really scissor happy. So I was cutting them. And by the way, I'm getting a natural haircut. I'm noticing that the hair that was once double strand locks, I've cut them now, I've trimmed them several times, and I'm getting a natural haircut where this is kind of breaking off, where they're very, very fine from just being handled. So it's still soft. It's not brittle, even when it's dry. So I'm not freaking out about that. I'm just embracing that because this looks totally different than the end. Let's see what this one looks like. All right. So I don't go through all of that counting and stuff. I only know because it's not a lot of them, but all my hair is completely flat. So that may be something, maybe perhaps can give you some insight. We all have different hair and different journeys. Though down here, this is going to be a cut. So I'm tempted to take the scissors and just cut it off. That's what I'll do sometimes is I'll just start cutting. So they're not all even. I feel like this last time when I cut my hair, they're relatively somewhat even, although I'm not going for a total straight cut. I've just been trimming it. So my hair feels nice and light and it'll be springy when it dries. Again, I can see the water. Right, it sits on top of my hair. So whether that's high porosity, low porosity, who knows? I really enjoy on this channel. I share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Body Culinary professional chef, personal trainer, mother, natural born woman. And on this channel, I share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance, really accepting, appreciating, and being creative with the features I've been divinely assigned. I'm someone that's had a tremendous amount of acne and working in the fitness and nutrition field. Yeah, that can be very, very challenging and uncomfortable because you're constantly judged on your presentation. Though I decided long time ago, I actually enjoy being natural. I've had several professions where I've had to wear a lot of makeup. It's refreshing to me to be able to enjoy and sit comfortably in my own skin. That is a priority for me on this channel and on my journey. I'm not here to demonize makeup or people's individual journeys or their choices. I had a Jerry curl and a gold tooth. So that wouldn't really make any sense. Though I'm protective of my psyche, right? And feeling good and comfortable. And I watch the internal dialogue that's going on all the time. I listen to it, which is why I appreciate the quiet morning hours. So I want to feel comfortable in the maturing and aging process with my eyebrows that I have. I haven't tweezed them to death. I want to enjoy the features that I have with all of its different what do they call it? Doctrine of signature, right? A doctrine of signature in nature. You can see the characteristics and the idea of what this body temple has gone through based on, different scars, from having children to breastfeeding and all that. And so it is important to me to have mental and emotional stability that is founded on being comfortable in my own skin. So the experimental dreadlock, welcome. If you like this kind of content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. So when the sun shines on, you can see my hair is a brown color. I can see the natural color because I don't have any dyes in it. And two locks that were very, very fine. It's been organic, letting my hair join together. And so these over here are pretty decent size. These were like 2. This one was like 4 locks. So this is what I'm saying. They're all flat. So I can feel intuitively when I'm just touching my hair that as this grows and matures, we can see that I'm getting a natural haircut here. I think this is going to be about it for joining because, again, when I used to twist my hair, you would see my scalp. When I feel through my hair, I can feel like my hair is so fine, it's spongy here, but I can feel it could use some more support. So although I really love sister locks, though I do not relish the idea of sitting inside of a chair for hours. That's too uncomfortable. It's not something I'm willing to do. So I also love the fact that sister locks, you don't have to put any oils, any products in your hair. That is extremely appealing to me. So my hair, before I allowed them to join, was much finer. So again, if you can see down here, these are actually pretty strong, but I can just feel, and I've trimmed it several times, where there was that initial very, very fine lock, something with the texture of my hair. And in addition to me not adding oil, I'm not interested in adding the oil. Um, it's going to benefit from allowing them to join so it can have a foundation. Although my hair is weighted with water now because I literally just got out of the shower washing it. It's light and fluffy when it dries. There still will be a little bit of weight. So again, these some concerns, or maybe a concern if you have very, very fine hair, right? I did an experiment. So I have a very loose holder, rubber bands. I don't like to use my hair because those have melted into my hair. That I do not like the idea of things plastered on my scalp, things stuck in my hair, or feel like I have clothes or things I can't get out of, like claustrophobic like. So this is like, instead of a rubber band, these are cloth, and these can be very stretchy, especially if you moisten them. So I just very loosely, because again, my hair is not wide, it's actually flat. So I just took 2 of these very loosely, and I like it because I realized instead of getting black, if I get the brown ones, you can barely see it because it matches the color of my hair. So that's been a new discovery, that I can get these in brown instead of black. So I have it loosely here. So this has been maybe going on 2 weeks of putting this there, and it's an experiment to see how long it will lock. So some people may be concerned, say, I don't like anything getting caught in my hair. I don't like that feeling. So this is going on 2 weeks. And so let's see. And this is no twisting. Let's see. Is it joining? So look at that. It is joined together in 2 weeks. So it is very, very loose. Like, so here's where it's separate. And I guess I have different textures in my hair. Right? It has a little bit of a curl there. Then most of it is kinky cottony. So I can see just in the 2 weeks while I've joined this right here, that they are joining together, I think pretty quickly. And that's with no twisting or anything. So again, I'm letting them join. It's not many to join. I only have about 30 locks. So it does look full because I'm embracing the Afro at the base. So it's not even 2 weeks, but I want that to be, I could actually just pull this apart. I wanted to have a firmer foundation, so that's what I'm doing. So I suppose I would say these are semi-freeform. I love folks' freeform journey. Though as someone with fine hair, I was concerned initially because I wasn't sure what this was going to look like, right? So can you see where I have it right here? I don't have it all the way to the base. I'm giving it room. So I'm not smashing these down because this is actually very loose. And this can just join together on its own. And washing it and rinsing it often allows it to mesh together quicker. So I think that's going to give a nice foundation. And I like the springiness. The springiness when it dries. And look at this. As we sit here, the hair is drying quickly, but I can still see the water sitting on top. The embracing of the Afro is actually makes it have more of a full look. So that might be of concern for folks and women or whoever you might be. If you have fine hair, if I don't have a whole, if my hair isn't as dense with a lot of follicles, you may not be wondering like, what the heck is my hair going to look like? You may be unsure. So you may decide to have your part. And I don't know, are you able to see anything? I can't see anything here. You may decide to have your part here, or you can decide to put it at the side. Now, I really love the style of women with the sleek bun, though I've made a decision. I'm not doing all that hair gel. I'm just not going to do it. I find it's stressful to use all of those products. Greetings. So I decided to put my part here. And again, there's no oil in my hair, but my scalp feels fantastic. It's nice and clean. And although there's no oil, I have found when the hair is nice and clean, and actually it's not shiny, shiny like our vanilla counterparts, though it does have a sheen. If you look closely, it has a natural sheen to it. It's just that the light, oh, it feels nice and soft. The light refracts, I have a list, refracts differently on kinky, cottony hair. Right. So I'm in full acceptance of all the different things that this hair does. You can see here, my hair does have a tendency to grow outside of the lock. And I've seen so many videos on hair growing outside of the lock. Yet I found over and over and over again, it's been my experience. If you sit with your hair and just leave it alone, my hair and skin really like to be left alone. So when I sit with it, after a while, it kind of gets trained on its own. It'll be puffy here at the root, but eventually it will merge. And if it's like a big piece sticking out, I can just simply take it. But I don't really feel like I need to do that here. I can just smooth it. I'll tie it with a scarf if I want to neaten it or just to like kind of sculpt my fro. I love sculpted fros. So that's all I'm doing. So this is kind of, you can see this is growing away from the lock, but it's kind of almost trained to the lock. So again, they're flat. This would be a Congo for me. This is a Congo, though. I'm in full acceptance of what my hair and my skin do. So it's been about going on 2 weeks. So I'm gonna look at the progress. So it's definitely meshing together. The part is here, though now I've got a little length, even though I'm constantly getting a haircut from the areas where it was a double strand twist. These were fluffy double strand twists. I embraced before a double strand twist before locking because double strand twists, or in particular loose twists, can really be complementary to fine hair. Cornrows, love cornrows. Though when my scalp was pulled and exposed, hair was itching profusely. So that's no bueno. I've done that several times and that didn't work. So double strand twists and styles that don't have a lot of tension. No tension is complementary to this hair. This hair expresses and has expressed over and over again. It does not like to be handled or mishandled. So this may be something you want to consider if we desire to keep our hair on our head and to have our natural hair on our head. So I would think that would be ideal because our natural eyebrows and our natural eyelashes, they don't look as harsh, right? The natural color and the natural texture. Although some people may not like the frizz, and I get some people don't like it, they don't consider it polished. To each their own. It's not a harsh look. So come to the camera for a moment. So I have my own eyelashes. So one of my homies was asking me, "What is on your eyelashes?" I'll tell you some of my secrets. And I talk about a natural beauty, no products. I do put food, I'm not joking, on my hair and my skin because it's only whole, fresh, living foods, 100% from me that cleared my skin up with nothing over the counter, nothing in the health food store work, no products. That didn't work for me. So that and vigorous daily sweaty movement and patience and not being so preoccupied, even though I'm not gonna lie, it was very um uncomfortable to me to walk around with so much acne and scarring. You can see if you scroll, there's a picture of it in the community section. You can also see it in Natural Beauty No Product. And you'll see in that book, you'll see my hair right before it locked. My hair locked on my travels. So in any event, now this has a little bit of a length. I can still keep the part here. And I'm actually, again, as you go along this journey, I constantly get experiences of confirmation of leaving the hair alone. Although I love that look of the part. You know how you see the women, they have that part. Actually, that hurts. Any kind of pulling feels horrible on my hair. That is a sign of that I'm going to cause basically traction alopecia and give myself some balding. So I'm leaving this alone and letting this kind of fluff out so this can go away on its own. And I'm more in acceptance of it. Just it won't be a part. My hair can be separated, but it won't be a part because it's gonna get full as an afro. And if I want a side part, what I've been doing is because I love vintage styles, and this hair is so sculptable, just like the afro. So that feature of this hair is a blessing, right? With this unique DNA marker. So all I have to do is take several locks, which is three, which was a lot of several before, and I can swoop them over to the side and I can tuck them to give myself a side part. So I'm not doing any parting. I'm not doing any of that. And I have a very delicate hairline. A lot of pulling, and this hairline will be elgano. So we're not doing that over here. So again, this is why I say I embrace what I have. So when I'm exercising quite often, because I can't take the pulling or any pain, I will pull them to the side, right? And been giving my hair a break from the two ponytails, which is my favorite way to wear the hair. Though if you wear anything too much pulling or too much at one time, now that I can see, my hair's not thick, though it's wide. I have to be very careful not to give myself indentations with the hairstyles that I'm wearing. So literally, the types of hair tools, toys that I use have to be very, very loose, right? So that they're not putting indentations into the hair. So I hope this is helpful for someone that may have fine hair, that may be considering freeform locks. This is, I think, a fantastic and ideal alternative, maybe the original alternative for women with fine Afro textured hair. And there are so many videos that speak about protective styling. I would say I call this restful. I don't even call it styling, but it's a rest. It's a rest, a psychological rest from feeling a lot of anxiety around I have to go buy more products. I have to slick my hair down. Like I'm very big on paying attention to internal dialogue, subtle internal dialogue, and also the emotions that come along with in your internal dialogue. We all have one. So feeling like I need to do something, noticing if I feel like there's a need to fix something. That's different than expressing myself through movement and the shot of dopamine and esteem that I get in one movement session. By the way, every morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're welcome to come and to move with me. Cardio flexibility and strength training, all from a little small space. You don't even need a gym. You can have phenomenal results. And it's such a deep therapeutic practice. I wish more women knew what was right underneath our nose. So during that practice, I'm not concerned about sweating out my hair at all. That's the last thing on my mind. This past week, I experienced a hurricane and I lost a lot of my precious fruit trees that I've been cultivating from like this, from a little cup. that were over almost 30 feet tall. So a lot of them are down, as well as some of my tamarind and my soursop trees. So I had to sit and get a little teary eyed and take a deep breath and begin again. Right. So this is why on this channel I encourage or like to encourage folks to take on 3 leverage lifestyle practices: peaceful consumption, food that loves you back and doesn't deposit a lot of waste on your waist. The foundation of that, and for me, my choice is whole, fresh, living, unprocessed fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fresh herbs, and legumes. Everybody, whatever label you want to call yourself, can benefit from those things, right? And your body's having a communication with you about your digestion, whether you're absorbing the food properly, your skin is telling a story, your gut is telling a story, your energy level, your elimination. So that is the foundation. The ratios, you'll figure out your sweet spot on this journey. So peaceful consumption, a personal movement practice, and garden therapy. Is not enough I can say about these therapeutic practices that will serve you until your hair is white, whatever your packaging, whatever you choose to call yourself. So, those are the leverage lifestyle practices. My hair is drying now as I'm sitting here. So, I'm not wringing it, right? Because I think that would be too traumatic and too damaging for my hair that's so fine. I can really alter the shape. Wow, this would be my Congo, my biggest lock, right? Wow. See, there's no way I knew what that was going to look like in the beginning. And I love the fact that it is I don't want to get water on the computer. It's spongy. That's a big distinction from putting the oil in it. The oil used to feel really nice going on, though over time, the garden, just being outside, you attract dirt and oil to the hair, and then that's where that buildup comes. So when I'm trimming my hair, there's nothing on the inside, and then also it feels very light and fluffy. So that feels good to me, right? So I can see I'm still getting a haircut from here, and sometimes I'll just take the scissors. I got to be careful because I'll get happy with the scissors, and I'll just start trimming. So it's wonderful to be able to be comfortable with your hair and not be anxious about cutting it, not be anxious about dyeing it and the what's going to happen, taking all these risks. What's going to happen if I dye my hair? If my hair is already really delicate and I've experienced extreme scalp burns from permanent no lie, which is a lie, relaxers, then I don't need to do that again. That was trauma I will never forget. The singed ears and the burn to the white meat on Sundays before church. I never need to experience that again. That's for me. If I can see when I do see women that they look very attractive and beautiful in the way they express. It is what it is. So I'm not here to demonize anyone on their journey. You'll have to find your sweet spot. Though I do know for me, being able to be comfortable in my skin through all the different processes of life is extremely important to me. Maybe I'll be old when I'm in my 70s and 80s. Maybe my hairline will recede. That's not the goal. But if that happened, I feel confident because I've worn my hair in a very, very short peach fuzz, almost bald. Actually, I did cut it bald. I feel so comfortable in my skin, I'll have no problem shaving it all off and just wear maybe some funky hats or some non-toxic henna designs. I feel very, very comfortable. I think that's really, really important for women to have something to look forward to. And yes, I will say, I think there is a healthy sense of vanity, of knowing something, of knowing your hair is yours. Again, it doesn't take away from those folks, those women that choose to do otherwise, but it's not a but. It's like an epiphany to know that you don't have to drive yourself crazy to alter yourself in order to be attractive to other people, but also yourself. So when you're checking in with your own internal dialogue to feel really comfortable in your skin is so precious. I wonder if they have to be. I don't know if there are a lot, even though we see a lot more natural styles and is natural hair YouTube, though there are so many of us that I think not only do not feel comfortable in our skin, though, especially at younger ages, are dangerously putting our body temples in danger and risking it all for validation for that aspect of our mental processing that is ego driven. And we'll alter ourselves permanently with some things that we can't take back. That's kind of I don't even say it's spooky. It's scary because I've always wondered this, and it's as someone that was in the fitness industry that used to do competitions. I'm not gonna lie, there was a time where I thought for a second I never wanted uh, the silicone implants. Though when you get really really lean and muscular, you can start to lose the breast tissue that you do have. So again, if you're in those circuits and you're doing lots of competitions, there's a certain lingo. It's like a subculture. So for a hot second, I thought of, especially someone that has breastfed, well, then what's a lift like? Because these are constant conversations around the women in the industry. So I thought, would I get a lift per se? And then investigating the procedures and hearing different things and doing my own research. Wow, they have to remove your nipple and place it somewhere else. That's no bueno. That's not going down on here. Just the idea of removing my nipple. Again, not to demonize folks that choose to do that, because there's some women that may experience. Let me go get my charger for a moment. There are some women that may experience such dramatic changes in their bodies due to childbirth that they may choose, or some folks, I've had several clients that have lost over 100 pounds, and you have a lot of loose skin, and it's a lot more of those videos trending on TikTok and on social media. So, when clients have asked me in the past, I'm going to bring this conversation, I think it's all connected. What kinds of recommendations do I have for loose skin? Now, this is just my perspective. For most folks, I would say, at least initially, I'd recommend that people don't touch the loose skin. And as one of my coaches used to say, you want to bring your muscle to the skin. I think that most people shouldn't. And especially when they have not stabilized in their mindset and in their routine, right? And in maintenance of their new body. Because without that essential mindset shift, it is likely that folks will return. And I've seen it. I've seen it numerous times. Most people, most clients do not maintain healthy weight and fitness because a lot of us, what's elusive is the mindset, right? You can't outrun your subconscious or all the fears that you have. There's an operating system there that it's not conscious, that is subconscious. And when we're triggered and we're in a constant state of triggeration in the environment that we're currently in, we have a lot of mindless behaviors, right? Or unaware behaviors where we're not fully present. So that's usually where we have habits that have us put on the weight. And I would say, especially for my younger flowers out there, I invite you to consider things that alter your body permanently. When you are so young, you will likely have so many different changes of thought. Your perspectives and your experience will change you. So you could really put yourself in a situation when you're altering yourself permanently with things that are actually not really well researched. So, for example, online, there's so many videos and a growing section of YouTube on that discuss, and there's a couple of videos on his channel called an impromptu beauty conference, part 1 and 2, about explants and many young women having their implants removed because their bodies are rejecting them. So that information initially was not made public. So that is a growing sector of YouTube, as well as there's so many women sharing about their botched procedures to their buttocks, to the prosthetic and the chemicals that they're injecting to have a particular shape. In addition, when you're on camera, you look a certain kind of way, and it may look, in terms of makeup and with Spanx and all these different things. And again, we're not demonizing these things. Though it looks one way on camera, when we get off camera, a lot of these things, they have a very artificial look. So, with so many women saying that they're not satisfied with the procedures, with so many botched surgeries, with all the different things that women are doing to cut corners and save money. And I'm just saying this as someone that has been several decades, over 3 decades in food and fitness. Even if you think that you don't have the most shapely derriere, most folks are trying to do a shortcut without addressing the mindset, not being fully aware of the implications or the contraindications, what could go wrong with these different surgeries. And then at the end, if you're stuck with something that looks very artificial, that I think could plummet your self esteem even more. So it's more confirmation of why I'm a huge encourager of radical self acceptance. It is so relaxing. It is so freeing. I love laying all on the floor. I love rolling on the floor, or whether I'm doing stretching or laying with my bunnies. There's something freeing. I can lay on the floor. I don't have to be concerned about messing my hair up. I can go play in the water. I can walk in the rain. I can sweat. I don't have to slick anything down. I found that felt like a prison to me. And anything could change, though. I know likely one of my values for myself is being able to embrace the maturity process as a human being in my human suit, to embrace aging, as they call it, gracefully, in acceptance. I feel like we're losing something. We're losing something, and I'm not interested in being trapped in my body with all these things that I've put in, copying somebody. They've taken it out, and I'm stuck with these chemicals. I look at consumption differently, right? It's easy for, and we talk a lot about this in coaching, Flower Fit Coaching, which is today at Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot of times, and this may be helpful to someone that is perhaps looking to achieve a natural, healthy, functioning, performing body weight. Your body knows what to do. It really does. It's responding to your mindset, what you're doing, and how you're consuming under stress, and the way that you view food for energy. So, for example, most of us really, really hungry. No, yet there's something that we're hungering or that we're yearning for. And I will say, whole, fresh living and unprocessed foods is huge. It's going to take you to, has potential to take you to a whole nother level of awareness around your energy consumption patterns and giving you access to what is elusive to most people, right? Which is very, very slippery. And that's the whys. It's not just intellectually knowing why I am not present, or I'm stressed out, or I'm eating from a space of anxiety. You get access to experience that rather than just intellectualize it. And it's these blind spots, it's these nuances that are very elusive to most people. You can't intellectualize yourself. Then, even if you come across certain information, this is the information age. And I hear this word knowledge thrown around. Yet, that is not the wisdom of experience. So, most people do not maintain and sustain a healthy eating lifestyle because, in my perspective as a coach and a trainer, we are using substances quite often masquerading as food to soothe. And this does not make us bad or wrong. We're using it to soothe emotions. We're trying, attempting to use the food to emote, right? Yet it doesn't take away the mental state. It doesn't long term take away the irritation, because like food, you're getting like drugs, you're getting a chemical reaction inside of your body, and you'll need another hit. It's not really addressing what is underlying there, if this makes sense. So there is so much that can be activated in your thinking and reasoning process with these leverage lifestyle practices. It seems so simple. With peaceful consumption, food that loves you back. It's very simple. If you don't put in substances masquerading as food and things that intellectually you know will do harm to your body, then you don't have to work like a crazy person to get it off. Though it will likely require you to invest some time, some energy, some resources in simply relearning how to prepare your food in ways that are attractive to you, that is versatile, that is sustainable, where you can be sure that you're getting sufficient nutrients and minerals inside of your food. So you can get off the whole stroll of dieting. Who wants to be in a whole stroll? That's no bueno. That's not fun. That's not fun. So anyway, this here is drying as I'm sitting here. So all I have to do is really now is just about dry. It's damp now. So when I'm moving around, it's going to dry out. It's got a nice light, clean scent to it. And that's it. So I can see that it's shrinking. Now it's got a little bit of length. I can work with that. I'll be getting some more haircut, right? I wouldn't even have a hairline with all of that pulling. Any kind of pulling, still, it's got a little length. It hurts. I can't do the pain. I can't do it. It's not for me. So, and I feel like I finally got hair, the hair I always wanted, which I already had, which I got my version, even as someone that is a fine-haired natural. I got my own version of a lion's mane. So I would love some Valerie June's hair, but I don't have Valerie June's hair, and that's okay. So, but I've got my own version, and that's come through embracing the springy afro that's at the base with no slicking, no oil, none of that. And it's actually pure freedom. I could rinse it every day if I wanted to. Actually, I just have not been thinking about hair that much. Though again, this week in the aftermath of losing so many of my trees, I noticed twice I just wanted to just jump in the water and soothe myself with water, which actually is great. That's in contrast to just soothing myself with food, right? And that's how I was raised. Very easy because that is an initial, that was a pattern that was established from a child. It can be very easy to revert back to that automatic pilot. So it does take something to cultivate an awareness of how we are consuming, right? Consuming from these screens, consuming your food, your consumption patterns in terms of energy consumption and exchange in relationships. It actually takes effort, though it is worth it. And your leverage lifestyle practices can give you access. So hopefully this is helpful to you folks. Give you some idea of what it could possibly look like. I do have some people say I don't have braids. I have a few of them, and I don't have an intention on dyeing them. I just don't see why I would, if it's pretty much across the board. Most people that dye their hair have a lot of damage. My hair is already has told me, has communicated that it doesn't like to be messed with. So that would be a setup. That would be a setup. I'm not doing that. I want ease and relaxation. Ease and relaxation are what I am prioritizing over here on this channel. So I don't know if we're going to be able to. I'm about to go to a class. But I would like to make the fenugreek conditioner, moisturizer. And by the way, for the most part, I really don't need anything in my hair. Like nothing. Sometimes you just feel the urge, you know how you feel, let me dye, let me do this, like this urge to do something, like, you know, I need a change. But okay, so we're expressing ourselves, but somehow something remains the same, right? And it's not all distraction is bad distraction. We're distracting ourselves, we're creating, we're expressing. Yet I like to make the distinction between if there are other things that are eating or gnawing at us, perhaps something that we're not addressing. And sometimes we can use other activities to take our mind off of it. Sometimes that's a positive thing, and sometimes it's not. That's for us to discern. So change for me might be just changing a hairstyle, which for me it's got to be quick and easy. I'm not doing all of that. I'm not doing that. I really prioritize just relaxation and ease and freedom. I really, but passionately, we deserve to feel comfortable in our own hair and skin. That's in your 40s, that's in your 50s, that's in your 60s. Even if you get prosthetics and work done, gravity's still gonna come for you. Male and female. right? Your stomach may not be as toned. Those are things for the most part. For the most part, we can actually take care of a lot of that just with a healthy lifestyle. We really, really can. So the breast will not always be perky mangoes. Things drop. Male have parts that drop too. People get guts. The health and the fitness that you can control, which I think is extremely attractive, and you feel attractive to yourself just with having that integrity, which you restore every time you show up to your movement practice. With each healthy meal that you prepare for yourself, you cultivate a healthy, rock solid esteem that nobody can take away from you. So, that is one of the nuances and one of the benefits of showing up to a movement practice every day. It's so worth it. It's a huge deposit into the 401k of your body. So, I just want to encourage you to celebrate and be creative with what you have been divinely assigned. And I can learn something from anybody, whether you have relaxed or whatever. I can look at a makeup tutorial and I might just see something how I want to just shape my eyebrows. So I like to use shea butter on my eyebrows. See, one of my secrets. I'll just be using shea butter. I'm going to hold on to the eyelashes and the eyebrows that I have been gifted with. I'm glad they grew back after all of that tweezing. By the way, I think it was not almost a month ago. After a long time not doing it, I decide I'm in another town or city, and I decide to go to this Indian woman because I used to get my eyebrows threaded. Why did I do that? I was so irritated with myself, and I was like, confirmation why I don't let people put their hands on me. And maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe she thought she was doing the right thing because so many people want their eyebrows tweezed thin. I just wanted to just clean a little bit. Look, this is why I don't let people mess with me. This is why many women choose not to go to the salon. I don't want people open to interpretation on myself. So I was like, oh, I hope my eyebrows took a long time for them to grow back from when I used to tweeze them. So I want to preserve what it is that I have and take it to the healthiest possible state that it can be. So it's simple lifestyle: fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds in the proper amounts with enough minerals for me. That's rest. That's always one of the biggest challenges for me, to go into rest and to get more rest because I get up so early. Food that's down pat. It's amazing. I do not eat junk. I don't crave any junk. There's no junk in my house. I don't think I can do any better than eating whole, fresh, living food. So I'm so grateful for that my palate has changed. I don't crave junk. Movement practice, I love that. I have never regretted a movement practice a day in my life. That's like pretty much the highlight of my day. There are other highlights too. That is something I have access to. That's something that I have control over. The hair, I've taken that off the table. I don't have to worry about that. We have our one little experimental lock that's going on here. It's been 2 weeks, so we're going to see how long this takes. Again, let me know if you have questions. We might be interested at, what would oil-free, what would that look like? So sometimes if you're not doing what everybody else is doing, sometimes we can feel a lot of doubt and like, let me go back to what everybody else is doing. Hey, greetings, Small TV. Shout out Carolyn Shepherd. So there's a temptation, and I'm humble. This is just one woman's perspective. I'm humbled by how much we are affected by groupthink. We just are. The desire for us to fit in and to be validated. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though. Without understanding how our psyche is affected, it's easy for us to be pimped out, triggered, and just be doing things, altering ourselves sometimes permanently in order to go along with the crowd. So only you can say what your sweet spot is or what you're prioritizing. So I'd rather prioritize health is my number one beauty product. Let me put it like that. My beauty product, right? Because that beauty is a moving goalpost that people change at live, and is usually got some kind of monetary exploitation on the other end of it. I can't just going through this recent hurricane. Like the last thing on my mind is hair and makeup. I'm so grateful. If I had to run for cover, would I be trying to carry my makeup palette and my wig heads? My mother used to have the wig heads back in the day. Y'all remember the wig heads? And sometimes the wig boxes. Would I be trying to grab makeup palettes and wig heads and what's the new bag now? Birkin bags, whatever. That's not my generation. I don't really. I could give two fiddlesticks about that stuff. I'm so grateful. I like fashion. I'll do some vintage, and every now and then a rare piece. I just don't prioritize. It means nothing to me. Now, learning how cuts of clothing fit me. I know a lot more about styling, not having to buy bigger clothing sizes. That's more efficient. Listen, women, that's so much more efficient. It feels so much better to be comfortable in your skin, to not worry about, your man or your partner, can't see you as you are. That's too much stress. I'm not doing all of that. PK, hello. Health and beauty can be achieved. Yes, and even I would say we are all at our most attractive, because beauty is subjective. I know that word is loaded. We're all at our most attractive when we are healthy. Right? When I had pock marks all over my skin, I was not feeling good about myself. Not only that, I knew that even though a doctor was saying otherwise, that it was directly connected to what I was eating, how I was eating as a vegan, as a staunch vegan. So, there's no shortage of companies that are going to give you a high five and tell you good things about your bad habits, right? The vegan Oreos, the vegan chips, the fake stripples, the old school bacon, bacon, fake bacon, the Caribbean patty. We had one that tastes like the curry chicken and curry goat, but the Rosses were trying that out in Brooklyn. Shout out to them. Wrapped in cocoa bread. Too much starch. All those jars of, oh my gosh, pineapple macadamia nut butter at $9 a jar 20 something years ago. But wondering why I got acne. So a lot of times we're playing games with ourselves and not really fully honest and transparent to ourselves. So there's no shortage of people willing to pander products to you. And it makes us vulnerable when, at least that's been my experience, when we can't sit with ourselves in acceptance. That felt like a jail. I care about beauty, not for my partner, for myself. So I like what I've seen in my. That's fantastic. I know I smile at myself when I pass the mirror. And I remember when I noticed that some years ago, I have a spontaneous smile when I pass myself. So I know in business, I've done different professions where I have to wear makeup and reapply it all day. I was like, when I leave this profession, I don't want to wear any heels unless I feel like, and I don't want to wear any makeup. Maybe if I was doing a photo shoot, but I really like my own hair and skin. You can have shadows. When people, even on these makeup tutorials, I gotta get ready to get off here. But when these people say on these tutorials, I watch so many tutorials. Some of them I really like. I like watching makeup tutorials. And they'll say, this is a no makeup look. And they say it's no foundation. And I'm like, maybe I'm just super simple. It's no foundation, but the amount of 4 concealers and mixing with all the stuff on, it's like saying that I don't watch TV. This is the TV now. This screen is the TV. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So we'll say that it's a no makeup look, but it's like 10 products on. Or there was this one mom, I really like her channel. I love etiquette and finishing school and all of that. And she was saying, I'm busy mom. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. I need a simple routine. And she was like, oh, what's in my bag? What's in my makeup bag? She proceeded to pull out 15 plus products. I was like, nah, we're not doing that. Thus, natural beauty, no products. Love your own hair and skin. Cruelty free. I'm not. I just refuse. I'm rocking with Grandma Lou on that. My Grandma Lou, I talk about her all the time. She was 90 something when she transitioned. That woman was most pleasant human being I have ever met. She always rocks her plaits and her natural hair and her skin. She did me such a service, me watching her when she didn't know I was watching. So comfortable and joyous and pleasant. She was like an ant and a hummingbird mixed together. So pleasant in her own skin. I don't know what she would do as a young person. That chocolate, if you're almost 100, I'm sure she experienced some things. But her being pleasant and comfortable in her own skin, that made a dramatic impact on me to watch her in contrast to other folks who may have had more education, may have had more things than her, but she worked to buy her little house. And I realized maybe she was pleasant because her and her friends checked in on each other in the warm weather, and she went for her sea bath. And she liked to eat, though she wasn't preoccupied with food, and she fed everybody. She wasn't vegan or vegetarian, yet when I tell you that woman is my icon, one of my 2 icons, my godmother and Grandma Lou. Those are my icons. Simple in their simplicity, so profound in their simplicity. And I experienced them walking around in the flesh. I needed to see them, especially, I'll be real, as a chocolate woman, I needed to see those women. I needed to experience them. I needed to spend time with them. I needed to see women that were not bitter and angry and living their best life. I needed to see that so badly. I needed it. And no offense, I grew up very religious. I needed that more than I needed the Bible stories. Between the garden gives me the most clear lessons, more than I ever got from church. No offense. And between watching my godmother and my grandma Lou, I got the most profound lessons. They set the bar for me. They set the bar for me. I'm so eternally grateful, which is why I mention their names all the time. My godmother and Grandma Lou, because they had a tremendous impact. They had a tremendous impact. Their simplicity, their consistency. They were the most consistent women I have ever met on the planet. See my locks right now and see my face, and did extract all the gunk from my face. Black whiteheads weekly. I feel lighter. I don't wear makeup, but because it's my skin glow nice. Small TV, I love that. One day I'll get there with the no makeup thing. Now, listen, small TV, I'm not anti necessarily makeup, right? Again, everybody's on their own journey. I look at this as one young woman who I just came across who is absolute magical with makeup. Like literally her face looks like she took face painting to a whole nother level. Her name, I think, is Mei Chang. I don't know if she's Korean or Chinese. Absolute art. Absolute art. Maybe I'd put a little something like there, but for the most part, just I can appreciate the artistry. What I'm speaking to is just being comfortable in my own skin because I wasn't born like that. But we're all on a journey, so I'm not here to demonize someone because they wear makeup. It's just not a priority for me. I need to be able to sweat and roll on the floor at the drop of a dime, right? I experienced chemical burns. Like my whole head was plastered with blisters and scabs. My ears were singed off. So that's where my experience comes from. That might not have been your experience, right? So I don't think that someone is less valuable. I mean, this Maxine Waters, this Michelle Obama. I'm not going to say that they're not valuable. If they're 300 pounds, if they have a perm, that's a crock of crap. That's nah. Someone is not less valuable because of where they are on their journey, if that makes sense. So I'm not anti makeup. Maybe one day I'll do it for a photo shoot or to play. Though my priority on the daily for my sense of peace and for my health is shea butter, cucumbers, carrots. Honey, I'm buying food by the case. That stuff it's going in. That's the makeup. It's going inside first. I'm gonna sweat and jump up and down so it can come to my skin. And I'm taking all that produce and rubbing it on my face. I like things really, really simple. That's my play. I will put beets on my face. I'm always looking for new ways to put food on my face. Thus, Natural Beauty No Products, downloaded at Body-Culinary. So I'm not, it's to play. I think there's, and again, I'm not here to tell people what to do because we're in a time where folks are so sensitive. Though, and sometimes to create fantasy can be fun. I see some of the cottagecore girls with the rosy cheeks and makeup. It looks cute. It's fantasy. Though to live like that every day, I just find it's too stressful. It's one thing to play, though I think the undertone, I'm usually feeling the tone. If there's I do a check-in of is there a feeling of anxiety? If you listen to your internal dialogue, I don't look good without this stuff. If I can't be comfortable and have that spontaneous smile on my face when I pass the mirror, or if I'm down in the doldrums because I have a wrinkle, or because I don't have my original breastfeeding breasts, that to me is a problem. If I can't just be relaxed in my skin, again, Grandma Lou, I just do not, I don't feel that eating healthy has to be super expensive. Why is it inaccessible? If country folks can't get these high price imported items from the health food store, you can't be healthy? Get out of here. I'm sorry. No. I'm rocking with Grandma Lou. I can't, I'm sorry, I can't make decisions on myself without somebody in a religious suit. That just does not resonate with me and my soul. I'm a common sense kind of gal. from Grandma Lou and from my godmother. So I need the ease. I need the relaxation. And I have the option to play. I remember back in the day, there was a time I used to love royal blue mascara just to play. It was like a little accent. But 20 tons of stuff, when it's 100 degrees, I'm just like, call me simple. It's 100 degrees. How could I have 20 tons of makeup on? And then this stuff is not cheap. I could rock some olive oil and some cold pressed coconut oil, and I know no toxins going into my system. You know, my delicate brain is here. Why do I want to put things that could potentially spearhead and activate fibroids, which have to get cut out? That doesn't make sense. And we're not encouraged, especially the younger generation, we're not encouraged, because that wouldn't be profitable, to think long term. We're usually very triggered. And I talk about those 5 basic fears on this channel: fear of old age, fear of death, fear of loss of love and never finding love, fear of illness, and fear of criticism. They are primal human fears. They bypass all logic. It bypasses logic and it hits you subconsciously. So most of the, and it's confirmed by science, most of the decisions we're making on a daily basis are triggered by the subconscious, and they're habitual. So you could turn around and you've lost a good portion of the years of your life chasing things that don't bear fruit. A lot of clothes, they go in the garbage. I love fashion. But most things you couldn't get me to pay for. I just don't value it like that. I just don't. I like fashion. I'll pay for something vintage. Every now and then a little something. Though I like my garden. It gives me real peace. The garden is not trying to scam me and get my panties in my pocketbook. So I get real life lessons from the garden. I don't have to feel this lack of confidence of it activates you tapping into your own divine onboard innate intelligence. And I found 3 simple leverage lifestyle practices activate something I wish more women knew. It's right underneath our nose. The garden, deeply therapeutic. Your personal movement practice daily, deeply therapeutic. You want something youthening? How could you spend all of this money on a surgery and then eat substances masquerading as food? We be doing a lot of stuff that don't make no sense. Yes, and buying it. We be doing a lot of stuff that don't make nary sense. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. So I'm rocking with Grandma Lou there. I'm actually a makeup artist in London, UK trained. But now I use occasionally. This year I use it once, literally. I hear that. Small TV. Most men don't wear makeup and they have nice skin. Go ahead, Small TV. I was taught to wear makeup since I was 12. Wow, 12. Part of my schooling was to wear makeup in hair school. Wow. I went to finishing school. I went to Ophelia DeVore. Shout out to somebody on here and my subscribers is related to Ophelia DeVore. For those of you who don't know who Ophelia DeVore, she was one of the first Black women charm schools. So I believe Diane Carroll, I think Mary J. It's a lot of women that came through Ophelia DeVore. So back in the day, you know, they had chaperones. And when you were going into acting onto the big screen, they had to, you know, get your behavior, had to get you, you know, on par. Learn, you know, how to eat and have some home training and some manners. So after a breakup some years ago, I decided to take myself to a Black charm school. I don't even know how I found out about it. So that was Ophelia DeVore. So I remember one of the dear instructors. I remember her telling me that, and at that time I was really having issues with acne. She said she recommended that I wear makeup all the time. And I remember her telling me, makeup protects your skin. Now, I'm sure in her context, she was coming from somewhere with the whole rich, you know, the whole routine and the makeup. I can kind of get where she was going, but just intuitively, that didn't make sense to me. If I have acne, and I come from a holistic background, if I've got a lot of acne and I know that it's not just on my skin, I know that my liver, my body's clogged, something I'm doing is clogging it. Something hormonally could be happening too, but likely it's clogged. Something's trying to get out. It doesn't make sense for me to clog my skin in order to cover up. Again, not knocking if you cover up, because there's been times where it got so bad that I wore makeup and I have to sweat as part of my job. I'm on the treadmill running with clients and I got a weighted vest on. that was just so uncomfortable. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. So I remember her telling me, to wear makeup to be protective to my skin, though for my core values, that just did not resonate and make sense. So I appreciate her and I appreciate what she said to me. And I get sunscreen now, people saying sunscreen, even to a certain degree. I don't know. I'm one of these people that I question and research things. A lot of the sunscreens are dangerous. So for one, to solve one problem, now I've got three subsidiary problems. That just does not make sense to me. It just doesn't. I found this there are different foods you can eat that can actually affect how your body reacts to the sun. I just can't eat everything that's fed to me automatically. I just Grandma Lou. uh, Makeup is not good for acne skin, even though non-claiming to help it is BS. Right. So when you feel something, thank you, PK. When you feel something is BS, do we question or go along with the crowd? I've been there. I followed the crowd, but following the crowd never worked for me. I remember the time I tried some weed with my twin on my 16th birthday, and I was like, "This is whack. This is whack. Now you smell like smoke. You coughing. This is dumb. It's hurting me. Give me a headache, and I can't even chew it. Let me go get some Chinese food that I can eat. This is making no sense to me." So I'm protective of my common sense because it can be conditioned out of you, right? Where you just don't trust your own divine, onboard, innate intelligence that doesn't need a middleman. I'm very clear on that. Yeah, hopefully if you're on the planet long enough, my mother said, if you live long enough, you acquire some wisdom. That we acquire some wisdom. I just saw a collection in Sephora for dark skin. I couldn't believe it finally. But y'all have had glowing skin with confidence. Who needs makeup then? Let me tell you, one of my clients, Irish, and she's pale as this paper. And I remember her saying that, oh my gosh, your skin. I said, listen, if your skin is pale and you got them rosy cheeks, you better rock that pale skin. I'm an advocate of rock what you got. I've seen Asian women that I've worked with who don't have the most round. I have a naturally round body. I could have a shelf. If I let it get out of control, I can have a shelf. But you do some sprints, you train it, you can have a nice round, lifted derriere. But I've seen women take their bodies to the limit of how they can develop it with exercise. So then, like, what are we doing out here? What are we doing? I'm humble. We follow fashion, as Jamaicans say. We follow fashion. We, as a species, we follow. Look at climate of social media. It gets very polarized, becomes very witch hunty, very, although there can be multiple truths. You have to, if you like two features of this one politician or this one celebrity, you got to follow everything that they say. That doesn't make sense. Sometimes I feel like the social media is really, we're allowing ourselves to be really, really dumbed down. Let me say, she was pale, but if that's a cottagecore aesthetic, and we're really honest, a lot of the cottage girls, some that I really like, the hair, most cottagecore girls have wigs on and have rosy cheeks. It's creating a fantasy. Some of it is attractive, but that's not really what we look like, right? So we have the option to play with fantasy, though. Black girls, for the most part, when we blush, our cheeks, for the most of us, right? If you're the chocolate, more chocolatey you are, our faces don't really turn red like that, unless you're of a more caramel or light caramel. If you're a coffee with cream, or even lighter complexion, because we have the whole gamut of complexions. Most of us don't get red like that when we're dark chocolate. That's just not, it's an aesthetic. It's a very fairy-like, so it's a mystical, magical aesthetic, right? So sometimes I can appreciate the fairy wings. Though for me, that doesn't work I'm not throwing on no fairy. Maybe one day I will throw on some fairy wings. But for the most part, what I can do consistently, what is functional, that's what I'm going, that's my priority. What I can do, what can I eat? Even when I was doing competitions, I know I'm not living on a diet. I externed at a top restaurant. I was like, this is great, but my folks can't eat this food consistently, right? So I need to take the principles and the skills and translate them into what is going to be enjoyable and sustainable on a daily basis. So I got fine hair. Yes, Ebonics, baby. I rock Ebonics. I can flip back and forth and code switch. But I'm gonna rock what I've got. I'm celebrating what I got. I'm celebrating and being creative with how I came here. It's good enough. It doesn't need to be fixed. I've got a lisp. I've got an open bite. My hair is fine. If I pull on it too much, it won't be here. Maybe one day it's gonna be back here and I'll shave it off. One day it's going to be white. One day, like those beautiful African women I've seen in National Geographic, they may be down here. Then what you gonna do? So it's a setup. I don't think I would feel really good to dramatically alter my body and still not be happy. I think that would drive low esteem, like really drive it in. And I'm not really interested in that. So I'm very conscientious of being very protective of my psyche because I'm very clear that there are entities trying to market things to me that although there are pictures of smiling faces, the undertone of the message hitting my subconscious is you're not good if you don't have this several $1,000 bag. That just does not make any sense. Things that go in the garbage, they don't hold any value in an emergency. I'm not going to be grabbing wigs and makeup palettes. I actually be grabbing my seeds and my sprouts, things I could go and throw in a knapsack. That's when I'm going to appreciate, you know, fitness and a lifestyle. And there's a lot, and we'll talk more about this in coaching on Sunday. There's a lot that is coming down the pipeline. If as people, especially as women, if you are not making significant regular deposits into the 401k of your body, there's a lot that's not talked about. And this is where sometimes I have a point of contention. And I can say, because I came up very religious. And I talk about this with one of my clients. There's so much they're not talking about in the church. For mostly women and to be in the congregation, to be sitting there and, emoting. Again, this is my history coming up Pentecostal. And we're screaming, shouting, and we're talking in tongues. But there's no praying and power walking, the devil's a lie. There's no gardens, and some are begrudgingly coming, but I'm sorry, too little, too late. Too little, too late. There's no gardens, there's no power walking, use a lie. Use a lie. We need a new rector room, but everybody, a good portion of the church is their numbers, their concrete numbers on the danger zone. I'm not talking about being curvy and voluptuous. The numbers are on the danger zone. And now a lot of folks on their deathbed, or their transition bed, turn over a lot of their resources to the church. So use a lie. I'd be like Jesus, tossing I'd be throwing the tables over. But that's just me. That's just me. So I stay over here and mind my BI bubble I business and my little garden and contain myself, because this is not season to be beating people over the head for change. At this time, a lot of us are choosing, and it's not to make us bad or wrong, though we are responsible. We're choosing the dopamine distraction. Though if we knew how good it feels, again, it doesn't mean I never have problems, doesn't mean I'm a perfect human being without flaws. Though I can tell you the freedom from your movement practice and being confident in your body to be able to run, jump as much as possible to being pain-free. The freedom that comes from not having to constantly buy bigger clothing sizes, although all of who we are is not our weight. The absolute peace from a little teeny tiny garden. Oh my gosh. It's like the best kept secret. Is right underneath our nose. And it's interesting in the current climate. People say, well, I can't do this because I can't do. I invite you not to give yourself an out. That's a common narrative. I'm not doing that. I've done stuff on fire escape. I've grown kale in bags. You can do whatever you want to if you're looking for a reason to do it. But you can love yourself and still have a routine and still have health and skincare routine while steaming, hot oil treatment, exfoliate skin, baking soda. So yeah, exactly, honey. And your routine may grow with you over time. I've done hot oil treatments and hot oil on my toes and push my toes back to cuticle, pusher. Anything to help you appreciate yourself. And if that's nail polish, rock your nail polish. I actually, one of my favorite channels, who's one of my favorite girls? What's her name? Oh, why can't I, oh my gosh, why can't I think of, she's a living foodist with Semifreeformlocs. Toomey Johnson. I love me some Toomey Johnson, one of my favorite people. I remember I think she was her who put me onto this vegan nail polish. So when I want to wear vegan nail polish, I've ordered, pays a cost a little bit more, and I don't wear it all the time. It doesn't smell toxic. I got the nail polish and the nail polish remover, so you can play if you want to. That's up to us when we turn off of these screens. It's for you to find your sweet spot in your food, your sweet spot in your movement practice, your sweet spot with your hair. That's your personal journey. So the internet affords us the opportunity to have a little peek into each other's kitchens and bathrooms to see what we're doing and see if you can get a couple of, tips or pointers, or see if there's something that you want to try emphasize to see if it works. So Smoky Nice was just there. I love my skincare and all the natural. I don't wear nail polish though. It goes straight to the bloodstream, but I do manicure and pedicure. I don't believe in vegan nail polish and marketing it. Might be. You may take your everyone has their pick, whether it's makeup or you get to decide the things that are non-negotiables for you. Because I've been strict with living foods for many, many years. For years, I didn't drink any hot tea. After over 10 years, I decided to add back hot tea. So I have my own reasons and rationales for things that I do. And if I decide I want to play, only you get to decide what that is. Um, Whatever's going into your bloodstream, whatever's going into your body, it's your journey. When you get to a point of clarity, you may decide not to do any of those things. So that's why I really enjoy my own health and skin. I know I like to see what my nails are doing, because I know it's a big indicator of my health as you mature. And again, there's so many things that are not discussed with young flowers. So even with all of this age of makeup palettes and prosthetics that we're injecting and sewing and onto our bodies, there's so much I'm not prepared for with the aging process. These folks gonna be gagging, gonna be gagging, gonna be gagging if we're not getting our sleep, our movement practice, your something therapeutic lifestyle practices, because you could change all this stuff on the outside. Though when you're still feeling emotionally taxed and triggered emotionally and mentally, that drives a lot of people to the brink. You've gone and altered yourself, and this depression is still there, and old memories and rumination are still there. Somehow in the back of our minds, I think we're thinking like, this is going to be the end all be that. I would say that like with fitness, there's some women that would think, I used to be like really ripped inside the gym, and people are like, oh, I wish. And I was like, folks think that that's the end of all their problems, is being ripped. I've experienced the other extreme where people looked at me like a piece of meat. I could never, oh, your arms, oh, your butt. And I was like, wow, I'm a whole person, not just body parts. So that's one aspect. Food is one aspect. You could be a raw vegan with a jacked up attitude. Don't treat people nice. So it's just one aspect. We'll all have to find our own sweet spot. What's the name of the girl who's Asian or something doing make? Oh, I think it's May. She said in her video, she says, my name is May, like the month. I think she's 25 or 26, young lady. But oh my gosh, when gifted, unbelievable. And actually, she's not really into. Well, she likes fashion, but she does a lot of vintage and thrifting. I don't know if that's how I came across her channel. And then also, I used to have a lot of acne and scarring. So she was doing Accutane, and she was doing that to work with her scarring. So I was looking at her video because I can relate when you've done everything. I used to buy Proactive. I did everything. I did everything. So I remember once one of my colleagues in one of these high-end gyms I was working in, I had eaten some grapefruit, and I had saved the peels after I had done my workout, trained people, done my workout, went into the steam room in the sun. I came out and I had the grapefruit. Now I know somebody's going to say something. I was like, whatever. I was rubbing the grapefruit skin on my face, and a colleague said, what are you doing? So I was like, I'm rubbing grapefruit on my face. So that may be extreme to folks. Yet the myriad of chemicals that we can't even pronounce, that haven't even been tested. Look at the things that some of us have been were kind of stonewalled into putting into our bodies that were not fully tested in these recent months. Don't mention the name of the situation on here. Um, but we do a lot of group things. So I'm okay with taking my chances on me with my movement practice, garden therapy, my hair, keeping it nice and simple. I can play. I get creative with these little 30 locks that are fine and flat over here. Though it's enough where I can sustain it with it's the ease and the relaxation I'm looking for. The ease and the relaxation give me access to consistency, right? It's the consistency, the ease, and the relaxation. That's a priority for me. That helps me to feel healthy. That's something I can sustain. I like that we're not body parts. Bad nose. It's important the whole picture. I used to go like this and suck my nose, pretend I was Michael Jackson. We follow. It's just part of what we do as a human species. I travel acne too, took Accutane too, but now I just steam and use a face scraper and never have breakouts again. Yeah, I don't eat the food for me was key. It was the food. It was the food. It was all the vegan junk. It was my health junk, as I like to say. It was the health junk. And the amounts. I was eating with a large pack of Oreos with 3 rows per pack. It used to be the regular Oreos, and then it was the vegan Oreos, and I could get away with it because I had so much muscle. I was doing so much working out. I looked great physically, but my skin, my liver was like, "Oh, you're not getting away with this, child. You're gonna pay." And I had to pay. Everything I ate had to come out. I'd rather it would come out than to stay in and turn into a tumor or a cyst or a growth. So our bodies may all express things that are not gelling or jamming with the inside differently. It can turn into inflammation, tumor, cyst, acne, excess unhealthy adipose tissue. The body's communicating with us all the time. And even with the best care, I'm in acceptance. Just like I'm accepting my hair, I'm accepting we're going to age. I'm not here to demonize makeup or anything because maybe sometimes I like to play. Though mascara, maybe a little shea butter or jojoba oil here for bronzer or a little something like that. That's about it. I really just don't care to feel like I have a plastic bag on me. And then I like to be in warm climates where I can sweat and where I can play. Anyway, let me jump off of here. Hope all of you enjoy the rest of your day. Feel free to reach out if you'd like to come and train in the mornings, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the Body-Culinary signature workout with Harriet squats, nice little fruit roll up of cardio, dynamic flexibility, and strength training. Bring your heart rate monitors. There's in the about section, there's a link. And there's also Flower Fit Community. That aspect, there is no charge. So if you're interested in starting a garden, or maybe you have a bit of a green thumb, as some of my young flowers do, like Dora and Anidra and Naomi, they have a green thumb. And then some of my other ladies are getting a green thumb. And so sharing what you're doing in your garden can be very inspirational, similar to the ladies that have done a 7-day nutritional reset, to see what other women are doing, specifically coming together around activities. And usually those activities are going to be garden, positive accountability with your movement practice, and peaceful consumption, food that loves you back. Those are the simple. Those are things that we all have access to. So this Flower Fit Community fill out application. If I can't see who you are, no avatar, I can't identify you, I do not let you in, because a safe space is a priority. That's non-negotiable. And then if those folks that are interested in transforming their body without diets, upgrading your food and your movement, there's coaching. That's every Sunday at 2 p.m. There's group coaching available. So you can reach out to me, info@body-culinary.com. There's a reset that's available with recipes. And this is unprocessed. So there's no TVP, there's no dairy, there's no fake food. It's all real food. So reactivating the ways of the mothers and the grandmothers, learning how to work with the fresh ingredients and flip them every which way to Sunday. That is the priority over here. That's the priority. Yeah, so reach out to me, info@body-culinary. You can find me, Kwasa with a K, peaceful, like full belly, eating on TikTok, Body Culinary on Instagram. Like, comment, respectfully, subscribe, and create a great day on purpose, simply because you said so. And I will see you all soon.